If you had a conversation with your ex, what's the one question that you would ask them?
Holy cow.
That was tricky.
Hi, I'm Dorine.
And I'm Jeff.
And this is the Couples Show.
Start off a little bit about us. We've been together for 8 years. We have 2 boys that live with us, and we met on Tinder.
Yes.
So this is a show where we ask each other questions about our relationship. She has a bunch of questions I haven't seen, and I have a bunch of questions that she hasn't seen. So here we go.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and start?
Yeah, so my first question is, what's my favorite food to cook?
Your favorite food to cook? Mandazi. Yes, she cooks great mandazi, and our whole family just devour them. So that one was easy. All right. What's my favorite Kenyan food to eat?
Chapati and lentils.
Yes. Again, pretty easy. That was one of the first things I ate coming over here, and yeah, it's delicious. So, all right.
So my second question is, name 5 things you love most about me.
5 things. Okay. I love your spirit. I love your energy. I love your look. I love your support. And I just love you. All of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Here's a question. Name the top 3 things that make me happy. Top 3 things that make me happy.
1 is the trees.
Yes, that one's true.
Being quiet and alone.
Mm-hmm.
And just writing.
Yes, yeah, that's actually true. Those are the things that make me happy. I'm quite an introvert, so no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
So my question, if I wasn't a model, who would I be?
Oh, man. That one's actually kind of tricky, because it took you a while to find modeling and that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And before then, you were pretty unhappy. So definitely not a nurse.
Yes.
What would you be? I would say just a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think so too.
Yeah? Okay. So I wasn't too far off. That works.
Yeah.
All right. My turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is my hidden talent?
Your hidden talent?
What is my hidden talent? Yeah. Yeah, right?
That's a good one. Your hidden talent.
Uh-huh.
This is really good. Okay, I would say writer.
Yeah,
You know,
I was actually going to say chef, just since I'm not a working chef anymore. But yeah, writing would be accurate too.
Yeah.
Both of those.
Chef and writing.
Chef and writing. Yeah. Cool. All right, go ahead.
So this one is, having met on Tinder, were you afraid I would catfish you on our first physical meeting?
No, I was not. We talked a lot beforehand, and I had a really good sense about you and your vibe and energy and things like that. And I don't know, I go by intuition. So I was, and the energy. And so I was really confident going into our first date that we were going to match and mesh. Yeah. And it turns out I was right. All right. When you met me on Tinder, what expectations did you have about me?
0. I had no expectations about you because I just wanted to meet someone that we can vibe together. So I didn't really have an expectations on how. I just wanted to just see if we can vibe, the chemistry and
yeah. Lucky for me. I had it pretty easy that first date.
All right. What was your first impression of me?
First impression was I was out of my league. As that you were more beautiful in person than you were in the pictures. And I was just hoping that I could keep up. I was really blown away by your smile and your walk and just everything about you. You were so breathtaking that, yeah, I was just trying to keep up.
I felt the same way about you. I felt like you were out of my league, and I remember telling you too.
Yeah, I didn't believe you then, but all right. So what was your biggest fear about meeting me?
You know, I never felt any fear because I felt like we had texted each other and it just felt so natural. And I never felt any fear when I was meeting you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just natural, authentic. And
yeah, it was more exciting.
Yes, I was so excited.
Than a fear.
Fear was like not even in my head. I was just so excited to meet you. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, your turn. Okay.
So my turn is, when did you realize that I'm your one and only?
That's a good question. I think it was, well, the first impression that I had of you, and when we talked, within about the first hour of meeting you in person, I knew that you were someone extremely special that I would remember forever. So it was just on that first date when I was like, this is different and this is extraordinary. And then it was probably when a couple months later, when I was in Seattle and asked you to come up and be with me up there, where I realized I can't let her get away. And she's just too special, and this is the one that I want.
Wow.
She's definitely the one and only. So yeah, it was two different times. Right at the beginning, and then when we were up in Seattle a few months later.
Wow.
So, okay. Describe the most awkward moment from our first date. What was the most awkward moment from our first date?
I don't feel like there was an awkward moment, but like when we were leaving each other, we didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And it was like, you gave me that hug, and I was just like, someone who can hug me, right? And it just felt so good. And then we had like really good conversation.
Yeah, we've been talking for 3 or 4 hours.
And we just didn't want to leave each other. But it was our first date. We had just met that day. So it would have been kind of weird if we didn't leave.
Yeah, I think that was the only awkward time we had, because we'd had such a great time together. Yeah. And we were just, like, my face was sore from smiling and laughing and all that stuff. And we just had such a great connection. And saying goodbye felt awkward.
It really did. I felt like I wanted to just stay with you forever and not leave. Yeah. That's how I felt.
Yeah. The connection it turned out to be more real than we thought it was going to be. So, yeah. And then when the other person felt that, it was even better. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Ooh, this one. Okay, so this one is, describe our first kiss in 3 words.
Oh, let's see. 3 words. Now I'm at a loss for words all of a sudden. It was overwhelming, heart pounding, and unforgettable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
I would say the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another reason we didn't want to leave that first night. It was just, we connected on every level.
We did. We really did. Yeah.
All right. Who was the mastermind behind our relocation to Kenya?
We both wanted to come to Kenya. So right after Jeff came to Kenya first time in 2019. Mm-hmm. And we both just were like, yeah, we should move to Kenya. So we both wanted to move to Kenya. And we just finally decided to come move.
I would say though that you were the one who actually pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
And said it out loud for the first time of like, let's just go and stay.
Yeah.
So and we'll figure it out when we get there. Yeah. You said it first. So.
Yeah. Yeah. We were supposed to come for vacation. And then I told, we were still trying to figure out like, okay, should we just go and plan and then come back and then, But I called Jeff and I was like, let's just go. And
then I said yes immediately. Mm-hmm. And so that was how we got here. Yeah. So you were the one to say it out loud.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that he wasn't, you didn't like say, oh, by the way, you weren't hesitant about it. You were just like, let's go.
No, didn't flinch.
Yeah. So we had talked about it before. So it was just,
endlessly.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But you were the one who pulled the trigger, I would say. Yeah. All right, your turn.
Okay. What do you like most about being in Kenya?
I like the slow pace of life in Kenya the most. You don't feel as rushed. The people here enjoy the slow pace of life, and that makes everything much more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And there isn't that just rat on a wheel feeling like you're just running, and always tired.
I hear you.
Actually rest here. That's what I like best. Yeah.
I hear you on that.
All right, my turn. Describe our relationship with 3 words.
Wow. So I would say 1 is authentic. Peaceful.
Yeah.
And just very loving.
Authentic, peaceful, and loving. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Those are good. We should write those down.
Yeah.
All right. My turn.
Is it?
No, I think I just asked. Is it your turn?
Yeah. It's me asking you.
It's you. Sorry. I'm getting all excited.
Okay. So what do you miss about Seattle? What do you miss most?
What do I miss about Seattle? Gosh, there's a lot to miss about that town. I do miss the weather sometimes, even though it can be overbearing. But I miss the rain and the change of seasons, and I miss the beauty of Seattle. That's what it would be. I miss the beauty of it all. With the trees and the rain and the ocean and everything. It's gorgeous there.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. No other city like it. So, all right. Now it's my turn. Do you ever regret moving to Kenya?
No.
That was an easy one.
I don't regret moving here. Like, I have been so happy and at peace being here.
Yeah.
And just everyone, Jeff likes it. The boys love being here. So I'm so happy.
All the stuff that we wanted to do and experience and the kind of life we wanted to live is what we found.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I'd never really been here, it's like all the stuff I wanted to have happened here.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I feel the same.
I love Kenya.
All right.
I get to appreciate Kenya more now than I did before I left.
That's the difference. That's really the difference.
With a different perspective. You know?
Perspective has shifted for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
All right. Ooh, good question. 1 habit you hate about me.
1 habit I hate about you. I don't think I hate any of your habits, really. Yeah. Actually, I know I don't hate any of them, or I would have mentioned them to you. The thing that frustrates me the most, though, is when you get frustrated. I can sense it and I can see it. Like, you move differently, you walk differently, and I'm like, oh boy, here it comes. And then suddenly you're like, why is this out on the counter? What's wrong with this stuff on the floor? No. I'm like, okay, we'll clean it up. It's cool. So that would be the only thing, is that when I know that you're frustrated or stressed about another thing, I know that I'm going to see it come out in other stuff.
Yeah,
that's so true. That's pretty common human nature.
I'm human.
Yeah, that's it. But there's no hate with that for sure.
Yeah.
Back at you. What do you hate about me? Or what's one thing that you hate about me?
I wouldn't really say hate. I just get frustrated when Jeff is a thinker, and when he's trying to write something, he would go into his thinking mode, and then he just kind of get lost and forget that Dorine is here and
everything.
we're here and we're doing this thing.
Yeah.
So it's like I would have to constantly tell him, hello,
Yeah.
Jeff.
Wake up. Yeah,
So I
that's
wouldn't
true.
say hate,
true.
but it's just like I get frustrated with, I would have to like bring you back into the moment, into
Pull
the
me out of
present.
my daydream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Yeah. It's
My-
my
it's-
turn.
Okay, go ahead.
What makes me a good wife?
What makes you a good wife? Number one is that you're always attentive. You're always caring about other people, and you're always caring about me and noticing what's going on in my life. You are real sensitive to emotions, and if I'm feeling some kind of way, upset, or you notice it and you support me and you help me and ask me questions about it and things like that. I never feel like I'm alone or on my own. I feel like you're always taking care of me and loving me. Yeah.
Which I know best.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then I would ask you that same question.
What makes you a good husband?
Yeah.
To me, I feel like you are always authentic, thoughtful, intentional, very supportive. You make me feel seen and heard, and it's those little things that
Yeah, they add up.
yes.
They add up, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you're calm and peaceful. I love that about you.
Yeah, that's what I've always wanted to be. Finally in a place where I can be calm and peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One thing that you would change about our life in Kenya.
Wow.
One thing you would change.
I don't think there's anything, honestly, that's a good question, but I don't think there's anything that I can change I would want to change about our life here in Kenya. I feel like it's been just what we've wanted.
Yeah, I would agree. The only thing I would say is that I wish my family, my extended family, wasn't so far away.
Yeah.
So that visiting my family would be easier and quicker.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
I
that I
hear
would
you.
change.
I hear you.
Everything else is just working
Great.
like we wanted it to. So
Wow. What do you think makes us a strong couple?
I think it's just our intuitive connection.
Yeah.
Just that connection that we felt the first time we started talking over text. From the first time we met, just that gut feeling that we were supposed to be together, that we both have always felt.
Yeah.
Because I
agree.
mean, we've changed so much
We
in
have.
the time since we met each other. We're completely different people now.
We are.
But that like gut level connection, I think that's what makes us such a strong couple. Is that even when everything around us is different, even when we start to become different, that holds us together.
Yeah. I agree on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gives us room to be ourselves,
Yeah.
whoever we're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and know that we're still going to have that connection keeping us together. Yeah.
I strongly agree on that one. Okay, it's your turn.
All right. What is your favorite thing that I do for you?
The way you love me. That's my favorite thing. Like, you are genuine, authentic. You love me. Like, you're like not in love with just me, but with my soul, my real self, my higher self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It's from my perspective, it's that you really see me and you accept me for who I am, all my weirdness, all my whatever. I don't have to be afraid to be myself around you because you accept me.
Yeah.
And you see me for who I am.
I hear you.
Yeah, so that's my favorite thing that you do for me, is that you just let me be me.
Okay, have you ever been jealous because of my exes, friends, strangers? Who makes you feel jealous?
No, actually, and it's kind of surprising because when we were getting to know each other, I asked you, I saw some of your pictures on Tinder, and I said, "Oh, are you a model? Ha ha ha!" And you were like, "Yeah, I am." I was like, "Oh, geez, that's kind of intimidating." And then, "Oh, you must get hit on a lot. All these guys hit on." Yeah, I get hit on a lot too. And I was like, "Oh, great." So there's all this competition that I got to go through. But getting to know you, it was never like that. Yeah. You were always very real about how you felt about me. You were always very real about your relationships with other people, whatever they were. And so I could always just have frank conversations with you about whoever, and I've never felt threatened by anyone from the past or anyone that we meet today, and I think it's that connection between us too.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We both just rely on that. It's more than words, and so yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I never felt jealous of your exes or friends. It was just, there was just this deep connection that we have that always gave me confidence in our and then we really turned inward, and we've been working on our relationship so much. We haven't had time for other people.
No. Yeah.
All right. In your opinion, what's my biggest achievement as a husband?
Wow. Biggest achievement. As in like material wise or?
Yeah, it's kind of open-ended. It could be either one.
Like being here in Kenya. Having the peaceful, slow life that we've always just wanted to have. You know, I feel like that's the biggest achievement for you.
Yeah. I would say your biggest achievement as my wife has been, number one, just accepting me for who I am, which throughout my life has seemed like such a lot. And then going with the flow when we moved back here, and just all the ups and downs and surprises that we've had to deal with, that you've just stayed with me through all of it, and never questioned us or anything like that. So that was a good question.
It was.
Now it's you.
So when we were having communication issues, did the thought of breaking up cross your mind?
At the beginning, yes, it did. And I've mentioned this several times, I was in a tough place personal-wise, and recovering emotionally from a lot of fallout and stuff from previous relationships, and trying to heal my life. And so before I really trusted you all the way, I felt like, well, we're at this difficult spot, and I just have to get myself ready for when it ends, because all my relationships end. And I was still going through life, and grief with the old me, just thinking, oh, this isn't going to work out as great as it is, and that sucks, but I just always screw things up. And then we worked on it, we stayed with it, and you stayed with it, and we gave each other the space and the healing, and I learned to trust you, and now that thought doesn't cross my mind anymore. It doesn't. So at the beginning, yes. Recently, no. Definitely not. What's your favorite thing about me? I like these kinds of questions.
Gosh, there's a lot of favorite things about you. Your authentic self, you're calm, and just how you accept me the way I am, and how our life is. Gosh, there's so many. You're handsome. I love that. And just the peace, your aura, it's just very peaceful. Like, I remember the first time I met you, I was just like, I don't care what's going to be. I just want to be around this guy. I don't even care if we have a relationship or not. I just wanted to be around you because you're so calm and peaceful and thoughtful, and you make me feel seen and heard. You listen to me. You ask me questions about myself.
Yeah.
Like, you want to know me more. Even now, you still want to know me more.
Yeah.
And we've been together for 8 years.
All right, I think we got it.
Oh, hi, baby.
It's your turn.
How has my presence in your life changed the way you see and do things?
That's a good question. You've given me a lot of confidence. Yeah. You're one of the first people in my life who didn't demand that I change, and in some way. And so just being myself around you, it meant I could relax and be vulnerable and be real. And that has allowed me to figure out more about myself and heal and be happy and just enjoy life. So it's really given me the space and all of that to just be myself for the first time ever.
I love when you're yourself. That's the first thing I told you when we first met, that I wanted you to be yourself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that about you, because, we're not faking. It's like, this is the real us. Yeah. And I love that.
Well,
it's
authentic. It took me a while to believe that you actually meant it. Because a lot of people say that. Yeah. But then when they're faced with someone, the real person, it's hard to take them at face value, especially if they change or go in a different direction. Mm-hmm.
And we all do.
Yeah, everybody does. But like I said, you let me be me, and that has allowed me to really become who I was supposed to be. Yeah. And heal from all the pain in the past too. Yeah.
I would say the same. You've let me be me. And that has changed a lot. Yeah. So, yep.
I love that.
Me too. I love that question.
Okay. If you could plan a dream date night, what would it involve?
Hiking. I would plan a hiking and just go and maybe have like a hike and picnic. Because we both
Somewhere
love to, out in the nature. We love being out in the nature. So yeah, that would be definitely hike up in a mountain. Yeah. Maybe go to Mount Longonot or Mount Kenyan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere with trees.
Yes, somewhere with trees.
Trees and a view and nature around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
That would be ideal.
That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, what was your biggest fear about our relationship?
At the beginning, the biggest fear was that we would end up being married. I'll be honest. Because I was like, dude, I am not ready to be married. I am not ready for a serious relationship. I'm a hot mess right now. And I have all this pain and like stuff I got to work out in my past. I have too much baggage. And so my biggest fear was that it would be what it turned out to be. And lately, gosh, I guess the only fear that I have now about our relationship is that, for whatever reason, I wouldn't measure up. I would fall behind or something like that, which is just kind of one of those irrational fears that you have, because everything is so good and it makes me so happy. You want it to keep going. That's the only fear, is one of those irrational, panicky ones.
I hear you.
But yeah, it's funny because at the beginning I was like, oh, geez, this is going to be a serious relationship and I don't want one of those. But there I was right in the middle of it. What are you going to do?
Yeah, we both didn't want serious relationship. I just wanted someone to just casually date, but Yeah. And we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it a bunch of like, oh no, I don't want a serious relationship. And then we both dove into a serious relationship.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That was
funny.
A good question.
What's something I can do differently to improve our relationship? To improve the relationship.
That's a really good question. Honestly, I feel like our relationship is perfect. I know people say there's no perfect, but for me, I feel like it's just so good. There's nothing to improve, honestly.
If you hold me to that, I might slack off. I don't know.
I'll pull you.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What would be something I could do? I don't know. I'm trying to think what you could do to improve our relationship. Yeah, I'm kind of coming up empty too. Because we talk about it so frequently.
We do.
We're so open with each other about, like, if something is frustrating or upsetting, you come to me right away.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, this makes me unhappy, or this isn't working, or I need this from you, or whatever it is. And then we work on it. So
We do.
I think that's what makes that question so hard to answer, is that our communication is so open with those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I feel like if there is something that I would need to improve on, you would absolutely tell me.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I feel the same openness with you too.
Yeah.
So I think we have this
hear you.
conversation pretty regularly about what we can do to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's kind of an interesting question,
It is.
even though we totally didn't answer it. Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you in our marriage overall, and why did you choose that number?
Wow. 1 to 10. I feel like it's even more than 10. I am happy. I am really, really happy in our relationship. I feel myself, and there's nothing. I mean, seriously, like, being myself is the most important thing. So I feel like you've allowed me to be myself, and
So you're gonna pick a 10?
I'm gonna pick a 10.
Yeah.
More than a 10.
Yeah, I would pick an 11. I really would, and
Yeah.
more or less for the same reason, because you make me feel relaxed and comfortable and happy, and like we said, if I have something that I need to talk about with you about our relationship, I feel totally able to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 10 out of 10 at minimum.
Yeah. Me too.
For sure.
10 out of 10. You are the best. I love it. What are some things you would like to try together that we haven't done yet?
I think number one is more traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though we end up traveling a lot here in Kenya, there's so many more places that I would really love to go with you and experience with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be the number one thing, is I'd love to
say.
travel more places
I would say the same.
and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just see the world
See
together.
the world together. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and just get your reaction to it right next to mine. That would make it even more fun. More cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
good. If you had a conversation with your ex, what's the one question that you would ask them?
Holy cow.
That was tricky.
Wow. One question.
Mm-hmm.
Are
It could
they-
be any ex.
Yeah. I would ask them are they facing their traumas and healing?
Yeah,
'cause
that's the most Dorine question I think you could ask. That's absolutely what you would ask.
yeah.
Yeah, I see it in you every day. You're at that place where you accept people for who they are,
Mm-hmm.
all their good, bad, and everything in between.
Yeah.
And your biggest concern is, hey, are you working on the parts that hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's legit.
Oh, what would you ask your ex? What
Oh,
question
man.
would you ask your ex?
I'd like to say I'd ask the same question that you would ask, but
Yeah.
My question would be, have you been able to move on? Have you been able to find a new, happier life
Yeah.
than the one we both left? Because, we
I hear
left
you.
and things were bad, and it's, have you been able to move on and find a new happiness?
That's a good one.
and leave the pain in the past.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah, that's what I would ask.
If we met in my 20s, when I was not so confident, would you still fall in love with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I would. Because the part of you that I fell in love with it was not a superficial part, and it wasn't the superficial part. I fell in love with your spirit, you know? I fell in love with your soul. And that's the connection between us, is that really eternal part.
I hear you.
And the first time we met, I called you a wise woman. I said, 1,000 years ago, you would have been one of the leaders of whatever little, group, family group or tribe we would have been in. I can sense that about you, your wisdom. And that would have been evident in your 20s, just like it is now. That comes out of you at any age. It's just you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I fell in love with. Would have fallen in love with
I
you.
hear you.
Yeah,
I would say the same.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have a question for you that's a lot like that. If you are single now, being the person you are today, would you choose me as your husband again?
Over and over again. And I tell you this every day. I will choose you over and over. Like, I feel like you and I we were just meant to be. The universe just brought us together, and it was like, wow, I didn't even think there can be a relationship like what we have. You've really proved me that there's someone out there that can actually love you for who you are, and just.
And it was so surprising.
Yeah.
It was so surprising. I wasn't in a place where I wanted a relationship. You weren't in a place where you wanted a relationship.
No.
And we just went with our gut feeling and the connection between us, and we've just made everything else up as we went along.
Yeah.
Just basing our life on that connection and the love. And it hasn't let us down.
No. No, it hasn't.
I love you.
I love you, baby. I love doing life with you, and I would do it over and over. And if I have to pick up, I tell you this every time, I would pick you over and over, because we are just match made in heaven.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
It works.